Lisa Marie Bristol, who's running for office of Solicitor General for the county of Gwinnet. If Lisa Marie, you have 5 minutes to present yourself and 5 minutes for questions. So if your questions are answered, we're not going to ask them again within your presentation, but we're going to reserve 5 minutes. We have 10 minutes reserved for each person.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lisa Marie Bristol. I was actually born and raised in Canada, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, which is right on Lake Ontario between Toronto and Buffalo, New York. Both of my parents are from the island of Grenada, and they immigrated to Canada in the 70s separately, but they met there. My brother and I were both born in Canada and raised there. I immigrated to the US after college. So I went to everything up there, schooling and York University. I did my Bachelor of Science at York University and got married right after I graduated. My husband is from Guyana, South America, and we have lived in the US since 2004. Well, he grew up here. Georgia has been home since 2005. I went to Georgia State University and for law school. I'm a very proud Panther of the class of 2009. So I'm running to be the next Solicitor General of Gwinnett County. The solicitor is the elected prosecutor that handles the prosecution of all cases in state court and recorder's court. I am a wife, I am a mother of 3, I'm a lifelong Democrat. I'm currently a senior assistant district attorney. It's been a full circle moment because I'm also an adjunct professor at Georgia State College of Law, which has been an amazing experience. And I'm very involved in my community because that is something that was instilled in me from a very young age back home in Canada. Community involvement, as my parents taught me, it takes a village to raise a child. And that's very much so the values that I was raised believing in. And that is part of the reason why my husband and I chose Gwinnett County to raise our family. We have children in each of the schools in the public schools here. So we have an elementary school student, a middle schooler, as well as a high schooler. And they keep us busy and they keep us running around at all of their different activities. I'm running for Solicitor General because I'm uniquely qualified to hold this seat. When I graduated from law school, I actually started on the other side and began my career as a public defender. I spent the first 4 years handling cases for indigent individuals who could not afford representation. And what I saw as a public defender was I saw how easy it is for people to make small mistakes and get caught up in the criminal justice system, and how what could be an innocent or a small misstep could snowball into a very, very large thing and derail their entire lives. And I was very frustrated because there were often times where I could ask for concessions or adjustments. And if I had the wrong prosecutor or the wrong judge, it didn't matter. And things would happen that would set my clients up for failure. And so I decided to switch sides and go to the side where I can make better decisions. And that's why I became a prosecutor. And so I've been a prosecutor since 2014. So at this point, I've actually worked on both sides of the aisle. I've done everything from traffic offenses and code enforcement straight through serious violent felonies and murder as both a public defender and as a prosecutor. I've seen firsthand what happens in our criminal justice system. I've seen that the most impactful time to make a difference in somebody's life and to break the cycle of criminal activity is when they're committing small petty crimes, which is typically handled in the solicitor's office. This is our most prime opportunity to really get in there and educate, restore, and rehabilitate someone from making lifelong changes. People don't often speak about misdemeanors because they're not sexy. They're not the cases that make Law and Order episodes. They're not the things that we make movies about. But what people need to realize is immigration can have an impact from misdemeanor cases. Misdemeanors can have an impact on job opportunities, housing opportunities, school, student loans, even the ability to serve in the military. And people don't always realize that because we don't often talk about the impact of misdemeanor convictions and even pending misdemeanors on our lives. And that's a big part of why I'm running. I became a naturalized US citizen back in 2015. And through my work, I've just seen a lot in the system. I've seen how our system can very easily derail someone and keep them out of certain doors and keep them out of certain opportunities. And I want to run an office where people have the opportunity to keep and maintain a clean record, where we can hold people accountable, but we can also ensure that the cycle is possibly broken, where we can leave people in a better position than when we found them, and make sure we're creating a situation where our community is safer. So I want to create meaningful diversion programs. I want to create meaningful restorative justice programs where we can address root causes of issues, so that we're not just punishing people, but we're holding them accountable, but we're doing that in such a way that when they are finished with their accountability, that they're left in a better position than when they came in, so they are not left in a position where they have to go back and commit bigger crimes later on. I'm committing to making that happen. We know that justice delayed is justice denied. And right now, there's a backlog in our current office, and we need to address that, and we need to move forward. And I am definitely committed to ensuring that Gwinnett County has representation that is culturally competent, that has representation that will take into consideration the robust diversity of our various cultures here, and that we will do the best job possible to make sure that everyone receives the services and resources that they so desperately need. And that is what I'm committed to doing. I'm very excited about this run. We are 30 days out. I am a Democrat, and the election will be decided in the May election solely. There are only 2 Democrats running in this race. So my race will be decided in 1 month. There is no November election for me. And that's what I needed you all to know today.
Great, thank you very much, Professor Lisa Marie Bristol, for that wonderful presentation. So you got a couple of questions cleared up for us. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. For the average person who does not know the difference, how does the solicitor's office differ from the district attorney's office?
Absolutely. So the solicitor's office handles misdemeanors, traffic offenses, and county ordinances. That means any case where the maximum sentence you can receive is up to 12 months in county jail or a $1,000 fine. The district attorney's office handles all felonies and juvenile court. So the district attorney's office will have jurisdiction over a felony, which is anything where you can receive more than a year in jail, or anything in juvenile court, because the juvenile cases are for any offender who is under the age of 17.
Great, thank you. And you've mentioned some of the changes that you would bring to your office, and I guess the question I'd like to ask you is, how will you make a difference in that aspect? What differentiates you from other candidates that would make that difference happen?
Okay. Well, one of the first things I would really want to do is I'm very proud of the support that I have from my local brethren in the bar, the local attorneys, both on the defense and the prosecution side. I've worked really hard over the years, and I'm proud of the support that they've come out and they've shown me. One of the biggest things I would do is make sure that my relationship with the bench is restored. Right now we have 3 recorder's court judges and we have 6 state court judges. And unfortunately, my opponent is in combat with, I think, all 9. So one thing I would definitely do is make sure that the relationship with the 3 recorder's court judges is restored, so we can get back to the business of handling those cases efficiently and effectively, and get as many cases back in front of that bench as possible, because that is one of our most efficient courts when run properly. And I also want to make sure that the relationship between the office and the state court bench is restored, because we need our county leaders, we need our elected officials, we need everyone able to come to the table and work together effectively. Everyone's not always going to agree. We know that in a county as large and diverse as Gwinnett, Everyone's not always going to agree, but we need to be able to sit at the table and come up with some kind of common ground so that we can work together for the best interest of the community. And so that's definitely a commitment that I have. I will work effectively with our other leaders, especially with our judges, to make sure that we are opening up the courts and moving our cases.
Thank you very much, Professor Bristol. And